What is going on, you guys? It's the Blind Prophet, and today I wanted to bring you a video talking about how to prepare for Cyberpunk 2077. Cyberpunk 2077 is without a doubt my most anticipated game going into 2019, which has been showcased with 2 trailers and a gameplay demo, but has no release date so far. However, CD Projekt Red have been very vocal in what type of world they're aiming for beyond what we've seen in the promotional material. So with that said, here's my list of similar medias that adhere to the genre of CDPR's newest endeavor to help prepare you for Cyberpunk 2077. Number 1. Blade Runner 1982. This film, directed by Ridley Scott, known also for movies such as the Alien franchise, Gladiator, and The Martian, Blade Runner is a loose adaptation of the 1968 novel Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. It follows Harrison Ford, burnt-out cop Rick Deckard in a dystopian 2019 Los Angeles. Deckard is tasked with hunting down a group of fugitive replicants that escape off-world work colonies and come back to Earth. Blade Runner has already been confirmed by CDPR to be a huge influence for Cyberpunk 2077, and it's very apparent with the world that they've built. The overall atmosphere and character of the world in Blade Runner is very similar in what we've seen for Cyberpunk 2077. Blade Runner sort of kicked off a huge set for the cyberpunk trend in the 80s, which has become very influential to me growing up, and to see a video game coming extremely close to that in theme and visuals is extremely exciting. Number 2. Dredd 2012. Pete Travis's remake of the 1995 classic Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone. 2012's Dredd takes place in a future America where cops, known as judges, are the only force of order against chaotic criminal-ruled streets. The judges have the combined powers of judge, jury, and instant executioner. Dredd is the ultimate judge known and feared throughout Mega City, a vast city running from Washington, D.C. to Boston. Carl Urban takes up the mantle of the notorious judge, ridding the city of a dangerous drug epidemic led by Lena Headey's Mama, who is selling a drug called Slow-Mo, which slows down your senses, simulating a slow-motion experience. This drug in particular looks and acts very similar to the Reflex Booster with the Korezhnikov ability, which allows you to slow down time in combat, which was showcased in their demo with a gunfight. CDPR's focus on verticality in the map is also similar to Dredd's Mega Block, where the movie takes place, a whole neighborhood made vertical in a tall building. Watching the point in the demo that showcased the driving was also very reminiscent of the opening of Dredd, which featured a similar chase scene where Dredd was chasing down a van of criminals on his bike. CDPR has also confirmed that we will be able to drive motorcycles alongside cars, so maybe there's a possibility we can really reenact that scene.
Drop it! Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Number 3. RoboCop 1987. This 1980s classic set in a future crime-ridden Detroit has us watch a horrific execution of cop Alex Murphy by a savage group of thieves that ambush him and his partner. But a company that has developed a faulty robot to rid the streets of such crime find an opportunity to save Murphy and their own asses by salvaging his body and turning him into RoboCop. However, Murphy has no knowledge of his past and only his newfound programming. RoboCop became very successful against criminals and shutting down crime, but when he comes face to face with his attackers, he starts to remember his previous life and goes on a journey of self-rediscovery and revenge. The common theme here with all these movies is the constant battle between law and crime, and also the moral questioning of both sides. All 3 follow the side of law enforcement, but in Cyberpunk 2077, we will be on the opposing side, the side of crime, which is an interesting dynamic, similar to Grand Theft Auto, where we are rooting for the criminals rather than the law, as well as providing us more freedoms as the player than playing as someone tied to the law and having boundaries and repercussions for certain actions we take for granted as the criminal, like speeding in a car or shooting someone for the fun of it.
Jesus Christ! My legs!
Number 1. Deus Ex Mankind Divided 2016. Square Enix's 2016 Deus Ex Mankind Divided is a cyberpunk-themed RPG developed by Eidos Montreal and is a prequel to Deus Ex. The game follows a Clint Eastwood and Keanu Reeves hybrid, Adam Jensen, who works for Task Force 29. Mankind Divided is set in 2029, 2 years after the events of Human Revolution, which culminated in the AUG incident when Hugh Darrow hijacked the biochip signal. As a result of Darrow's signal broadcast, augmented people across the world were forced to violently attack those around them until the signal was shut down by Adam Jensen. In the aftermath of the AUG incident, the public is outraged and begins aggressively opposing mechanical augmentations. This results in a divided world, where mechanically augmented humans are forcibly separated from non-augmented ones. Deus Ex is a very similar game in style and world, especially with it being primarily first-person experience, as well as the RPG elements that allow you to augment certain parts of your body, allowing for certain gameplay elements to be implemented. Cyberpunk allows for various augmentations to be made to your character, which was showcased with V's visit to her Ripper dock in the gameplay demo. Unlike in Deus Ex, however, which can be played passively without killing, CDPR has said that we will have to kill at some point in the game, which is somewhat ironic with their showcasing of various gameplay changing choices in the demo. Deus Ex is a must play though to enter yourself in the world of the cyberpunk genre. Number 2. Grand Theft Auto V, 2013. Rockstar's most commercially successful game and fastest game to gross $1 billion can also hold you over for Cyberpunk 2077. The game follows 3 protagonists, Michael, Franklin, and Trevor, who pull off various heists, crimes, and other illegal activities around Los Santos, a fictional version of Los Angeles. If you haven't played this game already, it's definitely a must-play and can be a good way to prepare you for Cyberpunk, even though GTA has nothing to do with the cyberpunk genre. CDPR has said that the in-game world for Cyberpunk 2077, Night City, is also based on the coast of California, which can provide a similar scenery to 2013's Grand Theft Auto V. CDPR has also said that any car that we see in-game can be taken, which is one of Grand Theft Auto's key gameplay elements. It's literally the name of the game. Which brings us to the next point of driving. Not only will we be able to switch from the forced first-person perspective of the game to third-person while driving, but we will also be able to drive motorcycles and have the ability to engage in gunfights while on the move. You can also engage in sexual activities, such as going to the strip club, taking a stripper back home, or picking up a prostitute, which is a feature shown to be prominent in Cyberpunk as well. Grand Theft Auto really has it all when it comes to looking for a good time and play experience, and will do well in preparing you for Cyberpunk 2077. Number 3. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt 2014. This game shares virtually no similarity to what we can expect from Cyberpunk 2077, as it's a high fantasy RPG game based on the Witcher series of novels by Polish author Andrzej Sapkowski. Other than it is also made by CD Projekt Red and is their most critically acclaimed game. The storytelling, world building, and sheer fun to be experienced in this game is phenomenal. You play as Geralt of Rivia, a monster hunter known as a Witcher, who is looking for his missing adopted daughter on the run from the Wild Hunt, an otherworldly force determined to capture and use her powers. You battle the game's many dangers with weapons and magic, interact with non-playable characters, and complete main story and side quests to acquire experience points and gold, which are used to increase Geralt's abilities and purchase equipment. Typical RPG stuff. Its central story has several endings determined by the player's choices at certain points in the game, and that is really exciting because we know that this is what we will also be getting in Cyberpunk 2077 as confirmed by CDPR. They have also said that to expect no less than what we got from The Witcher in terms of post-launch DLC, which was 2 expansions, one of which provided a whole new map. Not only is the playability of the game exciting to see and how it's improved and done differently in Cyberpunk than in Witcher, but also CD Projekt Red's dedication to source material is very exciting as well. The acclaimed developers have been working closely with the creator of the inspiration for this game, Mike Pondsmith, who created the tabletop RPG game series in the 1980s. If you're able to get your hands on one of the manuals for the Cyberpunk games, that would be awesome as well. Number 1. Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep? 1968. By 2021, the World War has killed millions, driving entire species into extinction and sending mankind off planet. Those who remain covet any living creature, and for people who can't afford one, companies build incredibly realistic simulacra. Horses, birds, cats, and sheep. They've even built humans. Immigrants to Mars receive androids so sophisticated that they are indistinguishable from true men or women. Fearful of the havoc these artificial humans can wreak, the government bans them from Earth. Driven into hiding, unauthorized androids live among human beings, undetected. Rick Deckard, an officially sanctioned bounty hunter, is commissioned to find rogue androids and retire them. But when cornered, androids fight back with lethal force. Just like its movie counterpart, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep is a must-read in preparation for Cyberpunk 2077. Number 2. Neuromancer, 1986. Case was the sharpest data thief in the Matrix until he crossed the wrong people and they crippled his nervous system, banishing him from cyberspace. Now a mysterious new employer has recruited him for a last chance run at an unthinkably powerful artificial intelligence. With a dead man riding shotgun and Molly, a mere-eyed street samurai, to watch his back, Case is ready for the adventure that upped the ante on the entire genre of fiction. CDPR has also confirmed that alongside both the original Cyberpunk games and Blade Runner, that this 1986 novel was an inspiration for them while working on Cyberpunk 2077. Number 3. Altered Carbon, 2003. If you watched the Netflix series and couldn't get enough, then look no further than to the book that started it all. Part of a 3-part Takeshi Kovacs series, Altered Carbon takes place 400 years from now. Mankind is strung out across a region of interstellar space inherited from an ancient civilization discovered on Mars. The colonies are linked together by occasional sublight colony ship voyages and hyperspatial data casting. Human consciousness is digitally freighted between the stars and downloaded into bodies as a matter of course, but some things never change. So an ex-envoy, now convict, Takeshi Kovacs has his consciousness and skills downloaded into the body of a nicotine-addicted ex-thug and presented with a catch-22 offer. He really shouldn't be surprised. Contracted by a billionaire to discover who murdered his last body, Kovacs is drawn into a terrifying conspiracy that stretches across known space and to the very top of society. This book is considerably different from its adaptation as they tend to be, but it's definitely worth getting into the series in preparation for Cyberpunk 2077. So I hope you guys did enjoy the list. I really wanted to make this for anyone else who, like me, is really excited and just can't wait for Cyberpunk, and just wants to get into that genre. I grew up with the movies that I mentioned, such as Blade Runner, Dredd, and RoboCop, which, you know, are very similar in visuals to Cyberpunk and themes. So it's really awesome to see something like that, which is so old, the Blade Runner and, you know, RoboCop, kind of become new again. So I'm really excited. I hope you guys are too, and I hope this helps you stay hyped up and prepared, and, you know, just that way we don't lose interest if this game, you know, ends up coming out in 2077 type of thing. You know, just it keeps us you know, still excited and ready for whenever this comes out, because CDPR has been very adamant on saying we're going to release this when it's finished, and that's totally cool. You know, I'm tired of getting games that are just cookie cut, our Far Cry New Dawns and our Fallout 76s, you know. So that's really exciting to see that they really want to take their time, and they're obviously not a company that's just willing to put out a game that's just a cookie cut version of the last one. So let's keep our fingers crossed. Next week I want to have a similar list to this, but for Ghost of Tsushima. So please look forward to that. I will have that up next week. But yeah, remember, let them pass in peace, stay hydrated, and Excelsior.
Like a light, like a light, like a light. Slept through the flight, not for the night. 760.